Welcome to our channel. Today, we bring you an in-depth look at a significant and potentially volatile military encounter in the Taiwan Strait. In recent days, 7 Chinese Navy ships have been surrounded by U.S. aircraft carriers in a show of naval power that has captured global attention. To understand the gravity of this encounter, we need to delve into the history of the U.S.-China relationship, particularly concerning the Taiwan Strait. For decades, this narrow waterway has been a flashpoint in East Asia. The U.S., with its policy of supporting Taiwan's defense capabilities, and China, with its assertion of sovereignty over Taiwan, have frequently found themselves at odds in this region. 7 Chinese Navy ships were conducting what Beijing described as routine maneuvers in the Taiwan Strait. However, the situation escalated when a fleet of U.S. aircraft carriers entered the area, effectively surrounding the Chinese vessels. This maneuver was interpreted by many as a show of force and a message from Washington regarding its commitment to maintaining the balance of power in the region. Reactions from around the world have been mixed. Some nations have called for calm and diplomatic dialogue, while others have expressed support for the U.S. show of strength. The United Nations has urged both parties to exercise restraint and avoid any actions that could lead to an unintended escalation. The U.S. aircraft carriers are equipped with state-of-the-art technology and have a significant advantage in terms of air power and mobility. On the other hand, the Chinese Navy has been rapidly modernizing and expanding its fleet, aiming to challenge U.S. dominance in the region. Aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford pulled into Naval Station Norfolk on Wednesday after a deployment to the Mediterranean that included 3 extensions. The Navy's newest in-service aircraft carrier left in May for a deployment that lasted more than 8 months. It was the first worldwide deployment for Ford, the lead ship in the Navy's new class of carriers. Ford began its deployment operating in the North Sea, making a port call in Oslo, Norway before heading to the Mediterranean. The carrier had been operating in the Med for several months when it moved closer to Israel, in the eastern Mediterranean, following the October attacks in southern Israel. In total, the GRFCSG worked with 17 nations throughout its deployment during exercises Baltic operations, Air Defender, Bomber Task Force Viking Trident, Neptune Strike, and Sage Wolverine. The Navy said in a news release, the strike group operated with standing NATO maritime groups 1 and 2, conducted dual carrier operations with USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, and exercised with navies from France, Greece, Norway, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. A dozen United States and Japanese warships, including 2 U.S. aircraft carriers, have been putting on a show of military might this week in the Philippine Sea east of Taiwan. Analysts say the joint exercises show the U.S. Navy can respond to contingencies across a broad swath of Asian waters where tensions with China remain high even while facing hostilities in the Middle East. The U.S. Navy aircraft carriers USS Carl Vinson and USS Theodore Roosevelt, joined by the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force helicopter destroyer JS Ice, 7 U.S. guided missile destroyers, and 2 U.S. cruisers for what the Navy calls a multi-large deck event. The U.S. and Japan are uniquely capable of rapidly assembling multiple large deck naval forces in support of mutual security interests in the Indo-Pacific. Rear Admiral Carlos Sardiello, commander of the Vinson-led Carrier Strike Group 1, said in a statement, the dozen warships conducted defense drills, sea surveillance, cross-deck exercises, and tactical maneuvers to advance unique high-end warfighting capability. The U.S. Navy statement said, the exercises began Monday and were scheduled to conclude Thursday, according to a statement from the Japanese military. Colin Coe, research fellow the V.S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies in Singapore, said while exercises occur regularly in the area, the timing of this show of force is important. There had been earlier trepidations that the mightiest flare-ups would draw a U.S. strategic refocus away from the Western Pacific, Coe said. This was seen as a demonstration of U.S. commitment to its strategic focus on the region despite what happens in the Middle East, he added, noting that a third U.S. aircraft carrier in Asia-Pacific, the USS Ronald Reagan, is now in Japan. Meanwhile, only one U.S. carrier, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, is in the Middle East, where Houthi rebels have sustained a series of attacks on U.S. naval assets and commercial shipping in the Red Sea, despite multiple U.S. and British strikes on the group's infrastructure inside Yemen. Hawaii-based analyst Carl Schuster, a former director of operations at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center, said staging the joint exercises in the Philippine Sea shows the U.S. Navy can get forces quickly to areas where China's naval units have been active in recent months. As an exercise, it demonstrates the mobility of aircraft carriers. Geopolitically, it also highlights the carrier's ability to support a range of contingencies across a broad area, Schuster said. In a direct confrontation, the U.S. aircraft carriers hold a considerable edge, but the Chinese Navy's growing capabilities cannot be underestimated. The balance of power in the Taiwan Strait is more complex than it appears, and both sides are acutely aware of the high stakes involved. As the situation in the Taiwan Strait continues to evolve, it is crucial for the international community to stay informed and engaged. The actions of the U.S. and China in this critical region will shape the future of global geopolitics. We encourage you to follow credible news sources, support diplomatic efforts, and advocate for peaceful resolutions to conflicts. Thank you for joining us in this comprehensive analysis of the current tensions in the Taiwan Strait. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coverage of global events. Stay tuned for updates, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Follow us on social media for real-time news and analysis. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe.